Hey, good morning. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Thought I'd give a little chat and give you some of the ideas that I have on making the move out to the Philippines. Now, I think that you should move, well, I think you should move the tripod first, I guess. I think you should move your mind before you move your body, because the preparation that you do about how you think will greatly influence how happy you are when you're here, because as you think, so it will be. Now, I think there are several parts of a move that are very, very badly neglected. One, I think, is that when you move, you are moving into a lifestyle that is a lot different to your own. It's a huge, I mean, it's written off with that very simplistic marketing saying of, yes, it's a culture shock. And you come out here and you think that, well, yes, it's a culture shock, it's a different culture, and you have no idea right then just what a shock it's going to be. The difference between the culture in the Philippines, the working culture in the Philippines, and in America or any of the Western, so-called civilized Western countries, the difference is not a little crack. It's not walking across a crack in the pavement. It is Grand Canyon-esque. It is so huge that you will be staggered by the differences. Now, does that mean that you can't make the change? Now, it means that you must prepare yourself for that. And part of that, and this is, as I was about to say, before I got off on another tangent, is that you have to understand that these are a different people. I'm not talking now about, well, what about those people? I'm talking about the people of the Philippines. The Filipino people are greatly different in many, many ways. One of the ways that they're different is that they can be so happy with so little. This is one of the items that you should come here expecting that you're going to find gold, and you will. If you're looking for the secret to being happy, one of the first things that you have to do is bring one of the tools that you'll need. And that is the willingness to change. The willingness to leave behind all that you have left. It might sound like a contradiction, doesn't it? Leaving behind all that you've left. But it's not. It is that you must be prepared to leave it all behind. And to embrace a different way of living, different way of looking at things. Especially if you're coming and you're going to be, say, on, well, I had a letter that I read this morning, and I'm sure that Jay will not mind me saying that he certainly has enough money coming in to live quite comfortably. Probably most comfortably if he comes to the province, but then I'm an advocate of living a simple life. When I came first, I moved into a city. There's no difference. People in the city are stressed by extra survival challenges that people in the province are not subjected to. So I prefer to come to the province, and that's what happened. It finally all materialized. I married my wife Beth, who is an island girl, and we came out to live with her family on this hilltop retreat, shall we say. And we've worked very hard to produce a life that we're very happy with. Now, if our friend Jay wants to know, he has been divorced for 2 years and he's now ready for a new start. Right. It's a given that you will come here, find a much younger woman, and probably by far a more beautiful woman than you are used to having. That's a given. I'm not being superficial here, I'm just talking about facts. If you go out on any day into Taliban, you will see more beautiful women per yard walked than you would if you were in another country. That's my belief, but then of course that's my taste. I prefer the look of the Asian woman, and it's not a judgment on every other woman in the world, okay? It's just my taste. So how can you prepare your mind? Well, you can certainly leave behind all the wars that you've been fighting while in this other country that you're in. You're at the moment, that is your here, and when you get to my here, it will then be there. Now here's a good tip. Don't bring the life that you left behind there here. We don't want it. Filipinos don't want it. They don't want the way of surviving in the West here in the Philippines. They may seek some kind of paradise, which is actually mythical, but they may seek a paradise in America because they've been brought up to think of America as this place, this Shangri-La. And of course, people who are living in America know that that's not true. People who are living in the UK, in Germany, in Australia, they know that it's not true. Now, various people, somebody wrote to me and said, I'm very happy living in the UK. Good, congratulations, you found a place where you belong. And he said, I never felt safe. He said, I don't feel safe when I go to my home, and he mentioned some place that he lives, and he doesn't feel safe there. It's in the Philippines. He doesn't feel safe there, but he feels safe in England. Feeling safe, a feeling of security, is something which is entirely subjective. It's how you feel. Personally, I don't feel unsafe. I don't feel insecure, but that's me. And maybe someone who knows better would look at me and say, well, he's in a fool's paradise, and you may be right, sir. So, back to the idea that you will have to come and make a new life. Now, think about it. I never hear anybody talk about coming and finding beforehand some kind of a support team. Now, if you think about how you operate right now, wherever you are, you operate as yourself. You operate as, say, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, in whatever capacity that is for you, and that's how, and you operate in that small circle. We're going out in concentric circles like the pebble in the pond. You get the plop, and that's you, and then the first ring will be however you integrate with your family and close friends, and then the not so close friends, and then the groups that you go into, and it goes out in these concentric circles which emanate out from you. Now that's the key. It emanates out from you. Now, if you throw a small pebble in, then it gets a very, very tiny clip. And if you throw a big rock in there, it goes badoosh. So, what kind of effect are you going to have on the people that you come here to be with? That really depends on you, and to a large degree it depends on the groundwork which you put in before you came. Now, my friend Brian is operating a piggery with his soon-to-be wife Maricel. Now, when he first started to communicate to me, what neither of us realized was that that was the start of a friendship which would stand us both in good stead. We have become family, friends, support for each other. Him for my family and friends, and vice versa. And if I'm in trouble, I know that I can call Brian, and if he's in trouble, he knows that he can call me. And if he wants a cup of coffee and a chat, I'm there for that too. That's what you call a support team. Now, the more support that you have, the better. And how will you develop that before you even get here? Well, the way that Brian developed it was he just exchanged a few letters with me. A few messages on Messenger or a few emails, and he's a good example of the way that it probably should be done. We have many other people. We are the most, I keep saying this, we're the most visited YouTube channel, and that's because we built a guest house with the intention that we would offer it free to people to come and stay for a few days and find out what we did, how we did it, and in a way to authenticate what we do. They are our living witnesses. So Brian and I exchanged a few letters. He told me a few of the challenges he was coming on with. I offered my input. He wanted to know things like, should I bring all of my tools out? And I said, my gosh, I would definitely do that. But where could I send them to? I don't have an address there yet. And very quickly we soon realized that he could send them to us. We have plenty of room, and we received, I don't know, 7, maybe 8, or I don't know, 10 boxes that were all addressed to him, care of us. So we stored his boxes, and they were here for him when he came out. And when he came out, it was only natural that he would come and stay with us for a few days, and that's what he did. Now, in doing that, he was able to see firsthand what kind of a life he was coming into. And he branched out from here, and he went and looked at different properties, and finally he found one that he wanted. And it's just down the road from us. So if I'm ever passing his place, it's not much of a chore to just stop off and waste some of his time when he should be working, cadging a cup of coffee. That's establishing a home. It's not just about having a house. It's not just about meeting a lovely woman and being part of her family. You have to be able to go and talk your own language. And if you're going to be a lazy bugger like I am, you're probably not going to be too advanced in learning the language, okay? Which I'm ashamed to say, and I'm doing my little to try. So you need to be able to talk. You need, if you get in trouble, you need to make a call and know that they'll be there for you. And you're not going to do that by trying to find a place that just suits you physically. It's not just about finding an expat who speaks your language, because the phrase speaks your language is much, much deeper than you might think until you examine it. Speaks your language. What does it mean, really? Well, does he understand your viewpoint when you put it to him? Or is it a yes, but like I remember back when we didn't have a house, and I mentioned to someone that I knew, I said, I'm going to build my own house. I'm going to build it in metal stud. And he said, good luck on that. So, you need to find like-minded people who are here meeting their problems in like-minded ways. Now, are you going to hook up with losers or people who are always griping about it? Are you going to hook up with people who are not happy where they are? Well, if you are, then I don't know why you're coming, because you could stay where you are and do that. So, if you're coming, you need, as part of your search for a place to live, you need a place where you will be welcome, where they will treat you as family. Close, when friends get to a certain closeness, they're family. I'm a great believer in family is not always of the blood. It's what I shall use a very grand word and say, it's your cosmic family. It's family that, depending on your spiritual beliefs, you have been with for a long, long time. And they know you. What's the saying? That your real friends will know you more in the first minute than the others will ever know you in a lifetime. So, find those friends. That's going to be part of your search. I'm a great believer in being guided by the inner voice. Now, we all know at one time they used to have the Walt Disney idea of good and bad, and on this shoulder was a good angel, and on this shoulder was the bad. And the bad would try to leave you wrong, and the good would try to keep you on the right path. So by staying on the right path, you should be guided to meet that area which is pulling you in because it has the right people for you. That's my belief. Now, you will have others who are not good for you, and as I've looked at and discussed in other videos, you have to choose your people, and you choose your people and you spend time with those that enhance your survival. It's very, very simple. If you are seeking, I don't know, supposing you were going to crochet baby boots, and it was something that you had revealed in yourself as being a very, very big goal. You don't want to go to your friends and say, hey, I'm setting up baby booting, and they say, oh, for God's sake, grow up. You want someone who said, that's interesting, how's that going to work out? And listen to what you've got to say. And it may be that you become the crocheted baby boot king of the area. Who's to say? You want someone who will validate what you want to do and allow you to make your mistakes. That's the point. Isn't that how we bring up our children? When they want to do something that is not ideal, you don't say, no, get your clothes off, you're staying in. We say, these are the choices. You have these choices to make, and you can do anything that you want, but there will be a price. And you outline what the possible benefits are and what the possible penalties are. And then you hope that and if you have done a good job and you brought the child up right, then he'll go forth and he will gain strength and he will gain character and courage. Make a few mistakes. You're not going to let him jump off a cliff, of course, but you're going to let him take certain leaps of faith. So choose your friends when you're choosing your place, because the two are very closely linked. If you get into a place where you're not welcome, you won't be happy, and you will not end up being here for long. Now, the other thing is that I've found, which is a big challenge for most expats, is this whole idea of they're coming out here and they're biting on their nails, because how are they going to say no to all of these millions of Filipinos that are going to come and ask me for money? They're not going to do that. You know, unless you've made some terrible mistake and landed yourself in a den of thieves, it's not going to happen, because Filipinos have their pride too. They're not going to come and prostrate themselves at the feet of the wealthy foreigner for a few hundred pesos. It's not going to happen. I met the challenge of being asked for money by working at my goal of helping people. And actually, I probably am not a very good example of being materialistic and successful. I'm just not. I'm no great businessman. I am no great entrepreneur, but I did have a dream that maybe I could help to change some lives at the very, very basic level. That was my goal. Your goal may be completely different. My friend Brian's goal is to have a successful piggery and to live happily with his wife, to be able to finish building his house. Isn't that a dream we all have as I look around here? So think about how you're going to change, and what you do is you just open the door to your mind and allow for changes to be made. Now, if you come and you haven't done this, it will be a struggle all the way, because what will be happening will be that you won't be able to look at the brother of your wife as your own brother. For me, I lost my brother, my own brother in the UK. I lost him many years ago, and I miss that man. And now I have several brothers, and I never think of any of them as coming and asking me for money. I think of helping them to gain a better life. And Beth and I have done that for all of the family. We've been criticized for this, by the way, that we only take care of our family. And if you really believe that, you haven't watched many videos. We include our family as family, friends, neighbors, extended people that we don't even know, who are part of our life. These people are part of our life. I would advocate that you think of being happy as being immersed in happy lives. For me, I get tremendous fulfillment from just going around in my truck and picking up men, women, children and taking them to church. I'm not a very religious person myself, but I enjoy getting them to a building that they enjoy being in. The kids have fun while they're there. We do our giveaways from the boxes that we are given, and we have a good life. And all of that begins with accepting the culture fully, accepting the culture. You accept Filipino time. It's not the same as it's not the same as ordinary time, okay? I don't have a watch anymore, and it's ironic that at one time I used to discount the man by saying, oh my God, that man doesn't know what day it is. And guess what? A lot of the time I don't know what day it is, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what time it is right now for me. And if you're here and you're able to live comfortably on a pension, then it will be the same for you. If you allow it to be, you will gain a different idea of time and a different idea of fulfillment. Because if you think in terms of looking out for those around you, as well as looking out for yourself, and I know that this will be argued into the ground by those who believe that they should be looking out for themselves. If you do that, you will have that kind of life. If you go where you willingly help others to live a better life, then you'll have that kind of life too. So, before you come, change your mind. Find people that you can share viewpoints with, find agreement with, find ways of looking at life with, and try to locate yourself, ideally, within a circle of such people who agree with what you are. Now, you know, if you enjoy griping, then I would head out for Gripe City and wherever that is. But if you enjoy living and being grateful for the way that life has turned out in this beautiful country, then you might think differently about being in the company of people who do not express the same quality of life, the same appreciation for life as you. So get ready to change your mind, because there are great changes coming. Some of them won't be entirely comfortable, okay? Can't promise that. But when you surmount the challenge of making that change, you'll gain something. You may even be happy. I hope so. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now.